Hey, good morning, everyone. I have a good friend of mine on, Vish. He is a 20-year experienced real estate veteran, commercial real estate. He's a small business entrepreneur, a husband, a father, and also a dog owner, which is in my heart the right guy to be having on my podcast. Today is all about value and creating value and speaking value into others. And how do you know you want to partner with somebody? So, my good friend, take it away.
Thank you, Eddie, for having me on your podcast and a warm introduction. Wow, that was really great, and I hope I'm able to add more value to your audience. And once
Hmm.
again, thanks for your time. And
Absolutely.
well,
You know me, I love adding value to other people. We go to all these conferences, that's where we met, is in conferences and being on Facebook communities and stuff like that. And me and you both are always posting and adding value to others. And I think when people meet us in person, the same thing that they got value online, they also meet us in person and we're the same person, right? So it's not like these influencers that are out here that are talking about all these things. When you meet them in person, they're a totally different person. So before we jumped on the podcast and started recording, you had some really good insights on that. I'd like you to share that.
thank you, Eddie. What you're telling makes absolute sense. Like what for with me and you, what you see is what you get, because
Right.
because whatever my social media posts is I'm just being myself. There's no filters out there. There's no filters because if someone sees me on a podcast and someone sees me walking down Walmart, it is the same guy who's wearing shorts and t-shirt all day long and who talks the same, who's not putting up any accent, nothing. And so the key is what I figured out is no matter which industry you are, what you're doing, it's always people are looking for what is in it for me, even before they give
Hmm.
you anything.
Hmm.
It's always the case, no matter which part of the world you go, including your baby, before they do anything. My dog would come there. Dogs, of course, they're unconditional. Look at my dog. All she does is wants to come here and sleep. So the dog is giving me
She's listening.
value upfront. Okay. so
Yeah.
so in other words, so that is why I realized it's no matter without any expectations, you need to give value upfront.
Yeah.
And how do you give value? You don't yet know people. If I don't know what is Eddie's style of coffee, how can I offer you a coffee? So I need to get to know you in the first place, right?
Right.
And how do you get to know people? Because that is the biggest problem people have. You go to conferences and people are standing in one corner and they're hoping that people will walk up to them and talk. No, you need to take the initiative. Nobody is going to come to you. So
Exactly.
nobody is going to come to you. But how do you break that ice? It's very simple. I have a formula which I use, which I've been using it for the longest time, and I can talk about that way using that acronym. Anyone in the world, anytime, can connect with people. All they need to remember is which is the first automobile that started it. What is the name comes to you? It's called
Yep.
Ford.
Right.
Ford. All you need to do is remember Ford. Okay.
Uh-huh.
And you could say, well, there's no big deal. What is this Ford all about? This is big baloney, and I don't know what it is. So, Ford is F is for family. Okay. Everybody in the world has a family.
Yes.
If I'm in a networking event, all I need to do is walk up to you and say, hey, I see your name tag as Eddie Austin. Good to meet you, Eddie. So, are you here by yourself or with your family? So, you would say,
Hmm.
well, I'm sorry, my friend, I'm single. I came by myself. So, which means I'm getting to know about your family. All right.
Yep.
Right. So, that is a
Absolutely.
conversation. You get started there. And the next is about what is the occupation? Everybody in the world has an occupation. Some want to speak, some don't want to speak. Some are excited, some are not excited. But either way, everybody wants to talk about it. So ask them what is their occupation. Okay.
Hmm.
And R, the third letter in that four, is recreation. Everybody does something outside their primary. I like to go running. I like to go work out at CrossFit. I love dogs. I like hiking. I like
Hmm.
swimming. I like traveling. I like gardening. There's so many things, right? So I can ask you, Eddie, what do you do outside your primary occupation, recreation? I know
Yeah.
you like cars. I know you like putting things
Huh?
together, right?
Yeah.
I know you like fitness, right?
Yep.
So there are so many things I can connect with you. And the last is D, and D as in dreams. Everybody in the world has a dream, right? And everybody has a vision in their mind. Wow, how is my life going to look like if I have all this, right? But they're holding back. They don't want to talk about it. They feel it is
Right.
too high or too low, or they feel ashamed or anything. I feel that you got to let it go, let it roll. So nothing is going to happen. It's your dream. You live the way you want it. Okay. So it's so much more easy to connect when you remember this Ford. FORD. That's it.
I love that. And I'm gonna say I'm gonna share a few things that I learned. And there was a point in time when I went to conferences, I didn't share too much about my dreams or my visions. And I realized that I didn't have as many takeaways and I didn't have as many people that connected with me that seemed like it was meaningful connections. And then I started really talking to a couple friends and they're like, Eddie, you got these great big aspirations, these great big dreams. You should tell more people about them. And then I started, I would ask people their dreams. And then I would always, it seems like people love to talk, right? If you give them that opportunity, they love to talk and they will tell you all about what their passions are, their dreams, especially if you ask for it. And then sometimes they turn around and ask you, Eddie, what's your dreams? Man, I'm wanting to build companies that create nearly $100 million a month. Oh my gosh. What are you going to try and do with that much money? And I was like, B, to be honest, I want to give most of it away. Like I want to, end homelessness. I want to do amazing things with it. And when you do that, people want to partner with you. And people are like, oh my gosh, I want to do what this guy is doing. He's buying these kinds of buildings. He's in this kind of real estate. He's doing these things, and people start to relate to you. I would also say, you know, relationships, especially when you're asking somebody for something. You and I both been in conferences. How many syndicators are in the room that are just asking people for money? And what's
Well,
your take on that?
well, Eddie, that won't happen. It's like you're meeting a girl for the first time. In the first 2 minutes, you're asking her, "Will you marry me?"
Yeah.
Right? And you know
Yeah.
where it's going to end, right?
Yeah, exactly. You haven't even bought a drink yet.
Right? Yeah,
Haven't went to dinner.
yeah,
Nothing.
yeah. Will you
Yeah.
marry me? If you say yes, then let's talk. Okay?
I look at capital raising as
Right,
is like a bank, starting a new account at a bank.
right,
When you ain't going to a bank, what's the first thing you do when you pick a bank that you're going to start an account at? You probably know a little bit about that bank. Like you've done a little research, you've seen it on the news, and you understand their values and who they are. They're not just some bank that just got dropped on the corner. Or you're going
right,
to go in and ask some questions. What are their fees? What's it look like? And then, before you can get a debit card and take any money out of that ATM of that bank, you have to make a deposit.
right, right.
And
Exactly. Yeah,
that's the same for me as relationships and raising capital. If I'm going to come to you and say, Vish, would you invest in my fund? It's great returns, it's all these things. And you're probably like, I don't know anything about it yet, and I have to make a deposit in you first before you have to decide to make a deposit with me. And sometimes that's not going to happen in one single event or one conversation. You got to continue these conversations. You have to add value to the other party.
well,
What's
Eddie,
your thoughts?
Eddie, what I've realized is raising capital is easy. It is a process, and things won't happen overnight. Okay, for the bank to just get you a minimum deposit from you, let's say $1,000 or $500, you
Hmm.
think it is easy for them? No. right? Even though they have a big infrastructure, they still need to build credibility. They still need to have reviews. They still need to maintain a staff. And the cost of running business to get your deposit account, to get you to the
Hmm.
bank, whether it's online or in person, they spend a hell of a lot of money, okay, till they build that brand. Once they build the brand, and then you want to do business with them, not they don't come to you, you go to them. And it is the same with relationships. Everything, you name it. Show me one thing which doesn't work on relationships in the world. If your relationships are not solid, it's like a foundation to your house, right? So people think that raising capital is easy. It is easy if you understand the process, if you understand what is extremely important in it. And that is why I tell people relationships is the key. Don't rush
It
into
is.
it, right? It's like building anything. You can't rush into a things. Some things
Right.
take time. So you put in additional manpower, it's not going to happen, but it's going to take. It's like anything. It takes. You need to understand relationships. Everybody wants to invest money, but they don't want to give money to anybody and everybody. They need to know you first. They need to know
Hmm.
who Eddie is, who wishes, who's this guy who's all over the internet. I don't even know him. Okay, so I'm allowing myself so people know me, right? And knowing is one thing. That doesn't mean I'm going to like you, right? I might know you, but there's no guarantees I'm going to like you, right?
Right. Yeah.
Right?
100%.
I might know you. I might know Eddie is a great guy. He's a motivational. He motivates me every freaking day. But I don't like the way he looks. I don't like the way
Yeah.
he talks. He's arrogant, right? So, right? So I know
Yeah.
him. I need to like him. You
Yeah.
can't force these things on people, right?
Right.
Like you're married. I'm married. We've been in several relationships. People get to know you, but they don't like you. They say, "Man, I'm the sweetest person around, and how come people don't like me?" No, you can't force people to like you, right?
No.
So first is they need to know you, and then they need to like you, and the third is they need to trust you, right? Because they might know you, they might like you, but they don't trust you. Man, he's a snake, man. He just walks away just like that,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. And
Right?
it's the truth. I have people come to me all the time and they're like, Eddie, teach me how to raise capital.
Right?
Teach me how to do this. And I was like, you know, your logo might look good, all these things look good, but at the end of the day, there's a face behind the company,
Right?
and they're going to invest in the person that's running the company, the person they know, like, and trust.
Right? Yeah.
It's hard. You can build a relationship with brand, but not as easy as you can build it with a person.
Right? Yeah.
And in my opinion, well, not my opinion, my morals are I don't want a transaction. I could give a crap less about the transaction. What I want is a relationship. That's what
Right?
I want, because a relationship, you'll invest with me every single time there's an opportunity. And when something goes wrong, you're going to say, Eddie, what's going on? Most of the time, you're never going to beat me to getting you out communication and say, what's going on? Check your email. I sent it to you yesterday. And if it's a big enough mess up, hey, Vish, we messed up, man. We got a problem. This is what I'm going to do to fix it. And that kind of a relationship, when you have that's kind of both ways, and you trade information, you can just be that much better together.
Right. I mean, there's no filters. Like I say, you're not wearing your guard. You just let your guard down. Be yourself. We all make mistakes. We all are learning, and every day we are learning. And you got to let people trust you the way you are, not what you're going to be. Right.
Right.
So that is the way I felt doing businesses, being an entrepreneur. I'm constantly learning every day, every single day, and I'm a learner for life. I like to learn. I like to network. I like to connect with people because at the end of the day, everybody's journey is complicated. Everybody is going through challenging times, right?
Hmm.
So it is just that we tend to look past those things and appreciate all the good things which are happening. Anyone in the world can complain. It is the easiest crap to do, is complain and throw the blame on anybody else, right?
Well, let's dig into that for a minute. I've always heard this concept and I believe it. If all you do is talk about the things that are wrong in your life,
Hmm.
all you're going to do is attract more problems in your life.
Right.
If you take the high road, and talk about the things that are exciting in your life and the places you're going, you're manifesting that destination of where you're wanting to go. And to me, that's truth, because there's been times that I've had a lot of bad things happen, and I was telling people that would listen about it, and I realized that I was just getting more problems. And I'm like, I don't know what's going on here, but I don't like the outcome. then I started
Right.
going, okay, what if I start talking about all the places that I don't even talk about the failures, don't even talk about the things, don't talk about the things that's not working. Let's talk about the things that is working. Fitness is going good. My health is good. My family's good. All these other things. My friendships are good. I got people in my phone that I could call if I need something. We're working on some new business opportunities, and it's working out. Little steps are making big improvements. And things started turning around, and I'm like, there's something to this.
Well, Eddie, what I've figured out is that is a great way to look at things. Your whole life is like driving. There'll always be some road bumps. There'll always be some construction. There's always accidents. There's always traffic jams. Are you going to turn around and stop driving or stop getting to your destination just because there is a road bump? I
No,
figured out most of the time it may or may not be your problem. I just decided to be focused on my destination. And if there is an accident, it's going to set you back by 5 minutes, 10 minutes. But that's not the end of life,
no,
right? So that is not the way you're going to mess up your day. Okay. So that is how I look at things. So the key is to have gratitude. Like what you're telling, there are so many things to be grateful for, which we've been spoiled. We take too many things for granted, but till we lose them, right? Like your health, you take it for granted till you fall sick, and after that, the only thing you want is your health back. You don't care
yeah.
anything about anything, right?
Oh man,
Yeah.
both my parents, they're up in age, and we've had conversations lots of times. My parents one time were multimillionaires, and I asked them before. I said, if you still had all the money you had back then, would it do any good for you today? And they often say, son, if we still had planes, if we still had boats, we wouldn't feel like going on these trips. We wouldn't feel like doing it because of our age. So, everybody, I think, chases this money dream to get to this place. And the problem is if they don't focus on their health and well-being, they're probably not going to feel like it when they finally make their money destination come true. And at that point, if you don't have your health and your wellness and the feel good, there's no amount of money that can turn that around. And what's your opinion on that?
Well, that is a great way to look at things, Eddie. Because I'm a big believer in having the right mindset, uh, and in fact, I'm very, very, very picky when it comes to relationships and the type of people whom I associate. And if someone is negative all the time, I give them three strikes. Okay. Number one, I'm going to tell them, listen, you got to stop being so negative. Okay.
Yep.
But they still continue doing it. The next is I'm going to tell them, listen, you got to change the way you look at things. It's not always nice, bright, and sunny all the time. There will be some storms, there will be some tornadoes, but they all are temporary. They all pass, right? The life is beautiful after that. But the third is, if they still continue, I'm going to tell them, listen, I know it is difficult for you to change overnight. Here is a small exercise for you. Go for 1 minute without complaining, and 1 minute at a time. Okay, if you can do it for 1 minute, next minute. Trust me, in 30 seconds, people can't hold on without complaining, right?
Yeah. Yeah, yeah,
right?
I can see that. I
I
can see
tell them,
that.
listen, you wasted more energy in complaining than you could have fixed it, right?
If you'd apply the amount of strength that you take to come
Right.
up with these
To complain,
complaints,
yeah, you can fix it, right?
yeah,
So I try to show them the positive side of not complaining. But after that, they're out. If they don't do that, then I move on. Then I don't want to give them my time, right?
right,
Because we all need that. Your cell phone has to be powered all the time. It has to have enough battery for you to move forward. Okay. If you have some apps which are draining battery all day long, you're going to tweak it sometime, right? And if it
yep,
still keeps draining battery, even though that app is extremely important, you're going to kill that app. You're going to remove that app, right?
right,
That is
right,
how I
yeah.
look at things, right?
That's a great way to look at it, man. And
Right.
you know,
You need somebody to level up. Look at my T-shirt. You need someone to help you level up, not
that's
bring you
right,
down,
that's right. Oh man,
right?
you're gonna get me fired up, man.
Right.
You know, you know me.
Right.
I
Yeah.
I do next to impossible things every
Right.
single day to
Right.
inspire someone else to believe it's possible.
Right.
I I believe that my mission is to get people to believe that they can and level up and get where you want to go. And I'm
Yeah.
happy to do things that are next to impossible to inspire someone else to give it a try.
Yeah. Let's do it. Let me know what can I do for you, because I'm all about doing one difficult thing every day, no matter
Yeah.
how small or big it is. You'll have to do it because it's on you. Nobody is going to help you out on that. It's your
No.
journey, and it is
No.
only your journey. You got to climb that mountain yourself. You
Yeah.
can't you can't take credit for somebody else, and you can't let somebody else do it.
No. No. I'm really surprised by this. I ask a lot of people because I've had somebody ask me and they were surprised that I had an answer at the tip of my tongue. I've asked people a lot, where do you want to be in 5 years? And there's so many people that have no answer to that. They're like, well, I'd like to have my house paid down a little bit more, going maybe a vacation. No, I'm where do you want to be with your health, with your money, close to retirement? Like, what do you want to be in 5 years? Do you want to have a new career? Do you want to graduate college? And you have to define that, and then they have to think about it. And I think that I started at a very young age, kind of manifesting and using a legal pad and writing things down. Even before anybody taught me, I'm like, I want to know where I'm going in life. Like, I want to know what I want to be and how long I have to get there. So for me, I'm always surprised when I ask the question, hey, where do you want to be in 5 years? People don't really have the answer to that at the tip of their tongue, and it concerns me.
So do you have a vision board with you, or do you have a
Oh,
lot
yeah,
of
always.
always?
100%.
Okay. Well, look at this at the back. These are my little vision boards at the back of my screen right here,
Yep.
and these are all the. I mean, this is not to brag. These are all earned, not given. You look at
Yeah.
all these medals on the wall,
Oh,
and
man.
see, those
Ye-
are all the Spartan races and half marathons. It is not easy. It is a grind. It's a consistent effort. Okay, and I'm proud to show that off. And that is what inspires me every time I get into my office. And look at this workout bench right here. Okay, I have the dumbbells and I have a kettlebell. So why
Yep.
do why do I need all these things? Because the key is we all need a break every now and then. And for people who say I don't have time to exercise, that is not the priority in that case. If they tell me that exercise I don't have time, which means they've never fallen sick, their health is not the priority. So why I'm telling you this is anybody can be fit at any time. You don't need expensive membership. And all they need is I tell people every 1 hour you take a break for 2 minutes and do 20 push-ups. All day
Hmm.
long you're working out. You're right in your office. I mean,
Yeah.
there are more than 100 body weight exercises. You don't need a gym, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I know I signed up for the St. Jude's 3,000 push-up challenge here. I think it was
Right,
last year,
right.
and I was dedicated to do 100 push-ups a day for 30 days.
Yeah. So
And
right.
go ahead.
Yeah. No, you can do it because your accountability. You signed up.
Right,
Nobody
right. And I
put.
signed up,
Right.
and I could not. It was funny. I had my wife video me in some places. I would do them in the hotel. I would do them, beside the road. Like I would pull off in a rest area and I would literally go off in the grass and I'd do my push ups. If I
Right.
was traveling, I left myself no excuses. It did not matter where I was
Right.
and know how busy I was, no matter my schedule would not wreck the
Mhm.
destination where I was going to make 3,000 push ups.
Right. Right.
And I committed to it. And it didn't matter where I was. I'd jump out of the car and
Do a
one,
push-ups.
two, three, four, just start pushing them out.
Right. Right. Eddie, that with push-ups, the challenge I've been taking on one fitness challenge every year for the last 4 years. So this year is the only year I've taken a break because during COVID I had taken a challenge to do four virtual trifectas, that is Spartan races. Okay,
Yeah.
and the year before that, 100 burpees for 1 year. Okay, so and before and 2021, 2022. I did 12 half marathons, one half marathon a month. Okay.
Ooh.
So, so that way I'm always open for this new challenges because the key is
Yep.
doing that 100 push ups is easy, but the key is staying in touch without breaking that pattern. And how do you do that in spite of all the challenges like the family dinner? You got to go out with spend time with your spouse, and you got to travel. You got to take a flight. You got to take a boat. So where do you do all these things? In spite of all these things, you stay committed to your
Hey, if I had to do it
right.
in the line at TSA, I'd do it.
Yeah,
You
just
know,
do it, man.
that's right. It doesn't matter the place
Right,
or the time. It's just do it.
right,
I know I had business meetings all day and I had no break between,
right,
and so I would do it late in the evening. Right
right, right,
beside the bed before. It's anything I had to do to get those push-ups in. It was all about the count.
right. Yeah, see, this is the post I was going to be doing for today's social media. It's don't make
Yep,
excuses, make results.
that's right. Yeah. Well, one of these days, I'm going to have to do one of those half marathons with you. I think it'd be a lot of fun.
Well, I hurt my knee last year, so I've taken a break. But
Yeah.
that is not an excuse for me not to stay fit. But I'm always looking for something new. So I've decided be a little more extra fit without giving the excuses of not able to run. But I
Yep.
could do so many other exercises. So now I've committed to CrossFit, committed to doing CrossFit.
Mm-hmm.
And within CrossFit there is a race called High Rocks. Okay.
Okay.
HYROX. Okay. And it is happening in Dallas in the month of November. So you should come by and take a look at it. At least get a feel of how things are working. And at the same time, people say I'm not fit enough to do a 5K. I'm not fit enough to do an half marathon. Well, that is all excuses because I tell people, like anything in life, it is on you. It is your race. Nobody cares how fast you run, how slow you run, whether you walk, crawl, or anything. It's you against you. That is so. I tell people, you start where you are. Stop giving us excuse that I'm going to start in 2 months or 3 months. I'm going to start when this happens, when that happens. That is all another way of procrastinations. Okay.
Yep.
So
I love the saying, if you can't run,
right.
jog. If you can't jog, walk. If you
Yeah,
can't walk, crawl.
just crawl. Stop. Get up and move. That's all.
Right. Exactly. Just keep moving.
Just keep
Keep moving.
moving. Yeah. So that way, yes, yeah. So there is always something to look forward for. But that is how I think me and you are able to uh, bring it to investing career. The same discipline, same dedication. There is something to look forward for, something to pick on, something to work on every single day. Right.
Yes.
Right. So
Absolutely. Me, man. I'm a 1% better everyday guy.
right.
Um, not for ego or pride, for my
Right.
personal person to feel better about myself,
Right.
because there's sometimes I have very hard days that I
Right.
have to look in the mirror and go, I'm better today and I'll be better tomorrow. And that applies to the tough business things that we do sometimes. All challenges are faced of what you overcome, and you have this track record. And, one thing I've been wanting to make a video about, been trying to manifest the words out of me and get it on paper, is you got to stop lying to yourself. And, so many times we say, I'm going to go run today, and things come up, or I'm going to wake up at 4 a.m. tomorrow, and it doesn't happen. And eventually, I think that your mind subconsciously knows when you speak, there's no meaning behind it, because your mind knows that you're not going to do it. And it's a nasty habit you have to break, because you have to know when you're going to say you're going to do something, you got to do it. It's just like jumping in cold water. Everybody's
Right.
like, oh, it's cold, it's this. Just get in, just ignite and get in, and just get past it. You're not going to die. I mean, unless it's like super super cold water, you're jumping in a river and can't get out or something like that. But like the cold water plunge, you're not going to die. Like no matter what your mind tells you, you're not going to pass away in the next 4 minutes or 30 seconds. Just jump in the water and go.
Right. Right. Yeah. No, no, that is so true, Eddie. That is so true. But anyhow, so that is how it takes all types of people to make this world an interesting place.
It does. It
Right.
really does. And I remember when I met you and started following you, and I started watching the half marathons, and I thought, man, one of these days I really want to do an Ironman.
Right.
And when I started looking up the different things in an Ironman, like the swim, like 3.2 mile swim, I believe. You have what, a 26-mile run and a 32-mile bike ride or something like that.
No, 140, 75-mile bike ride, something like that.
75-mile bike ride.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So little more than that. Yeah. Okay.
And everybody's like, Eddie, you got to train for that for years, man. Like, you just can't just jump into that. And I'm like, well, I'm that crazy dude that wants to jump in, just see how far I can get.
Mm-hmm.
And they're like, I don't think that's a good idea. And, if enough people tell me it's not a good idea, I'm going to do it
You
anyway.
should do it.
Yeah. Man, this has been a lot of fun,
Right.
a ton of fun. Um, what would be your greatest takeaway for the audience today? What would be the best quote or takeaway for the audience?
Well, the best quote would be like, I have a T-shirt also which says 1% better every day, every single
Yeah.
day, right? So on, and do not be afraid that things are going to fail or things are not going to work out. If you're if you're not failing, which means you're not trying hard enough, right? And
Yeah.
every failure means you're doing something which is not working. And every failure is a feedback, it's not a failure. What you learn from that and how you take it to the next level is all it takes. I mean, whoever is on the mountain top have missed 100 steps before they got to the top. So it is not an easy journey, but it is worth it, whatever you're doing,
Yes.
right? So if you see in the Olympics, the marathon runner, the world champion, also lost because you think he was not fit enough. He was fit enough, but things happen. Things happen. Do you think he's going to retire and give up? No, he's going to come back stronger, right? So we got to take every day with that kind of a attitude. Today is going to be better than yesterday. I'm going to be stronger than yesterday, and I'm going to approach everything with a positive attitude. So that is
Man,
how
that's
I,
it.
yeah, that's all. So
That's it, man. That's a great way to close this podcast down today.
right,
Man, thank you so much
right,
for coming on and sharing your tremendous amount of knowledge. Any man that wins the amount of medals that you do and to overcome the adversity that you have has a lot to share. And I want to personally thank you for coming on today and doing that with the audience. And, all I could remind you as my audience out there, please share this with somebody else that needs it. Me and Vish both are big on helping other people. Like that's kind of the mission, that internal mission. We do these things and we want to see other people grow. We want to see other people achieve. So share this with somebody else, somebody that needs to hear it. And I would remind you, anybody that follows me, they see on the end of my name, it's BEX, Eddie Austin BEX. That's be extraordinary. And that's for every day I will remind myself to be extraordinary and just be a better version of what I was yesterday. So thank you so much. Please like and subscribe, smash the like button, and share it with somebody else. We'll see you on the next episode, and have a great day. Be extraordinary.